Hey, you guys, welcome back. You know, in a season of change here in Park City, we have seen a great deal of it, and a big part of that is an increase not only in tourism, but businesses allied around providing our visitors with absolutely the best experience that they can have, and increasingly that includes upscale parties because they're so fun, and if you can make them upscale, you definitely do that. I'm excited tonight to welcome a fellow to the program. It's his first appearance. I'm pretty sure that it's not going to be his last. He has a fantastic resume for a young fellow already, and he has chosen Park City. The business is called Obsessed Artist Catering, and to my right is Mr. Matthew Greyard. How are you, brother?
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thanks for coming. And I guess before we get to your list of awards, talk a little bit about food for you and kind of where the connection came as far as this is something other than just cheeseburgers are good as a kid.
Right. Well, I was raised on a farm in West Virginia, and I spent my days working in the gardens. My evenings was fishing, and then I would go and help my grandmother cook. And so I grew up in the kitchen eating that way. And then when I went to art school, I needed to pay rent, so I started working in kitchens. And
I'm sure that was kind of an easy, like, oh, well, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, you know, but it was a good fit for personality, and I had fun, you know, like it was kind of ruleless. You know?
Now, was that different than, say, brothers or sisters or other people within the family? Was it a food kind of focused thing, or were you a little bit different than the other kids around?
Yeah, I'm the black sheep in my family. You know, my brother's a lawyer, my parents are doctors.
Congratulations.
And they were really skeptical about what I was doing, but, you know, they've kind of watched me in my path, and they've been very supportive.
It's really cool. And let's talk about that path, and one of the big parts of your story is that you've spent some time on television already and had some real success.
Yeah, it's been great. I've been very fortunate and very aggressive with my career and been able to travel all over to South America and Europe a few times and work with some great, amazing chefs who really inspired me and put me underneath their wing.
That's very cool. And talk a little bit about Cutthroat Kitchen. I know it's a popular program and certainly one that a lot of chefs would like to be on. Yeah,
it was a great experience. You know, I suggest anyone in the culinary industry to put the foot forward and be aggressive. You know, that's what I did. And it was a great experience. I got to meet amazing chefs, got to work with Alton Brown, who's incredible, extremely professional, very inspiring. You know, I love meeting people like that, you know.
It really makes that vision that sometimes you have when you're working hard and it's you're tired or you're just not feeling it, then to get a chance to spend time around people like that who have made those moves.
Right, and they're just as tired, you know, but they're still working, and that's what's really inspiring, because, you know, it's like if you put forth those feet every day, like, it's going to pay out.
Absolutely.
You know, and it shows in your craft and your personality, you know.
No question. Talk a little bit about Park City, about your choice to come here. I'm sure you had a lot of options, and you mentioned that you've done a few things, but starting a catering company and doing it in Park City, pretty strong moves.
Yeah, it's a. So I grew up skiing here when I was 2, so I've always had a connection, and I was a ski photographer here for 3 seasons. And then, you know, I pursued food full time, and, you know, I was working in San Francisco, and the chefs I was working with were saying it was about time that I did my own project. And they suggested I leave San Francisco to do that, and the obvious choice was Park City, this amazing town, you know. There's so much growth, the people here are amazing, and, you know, it's a peace of mind, and that's why we all live here.
No question. Well, we're glad you chose us. Let's talk food.
Oh, yeah, awesome.
Before we start here, talk a little bit about your philosophy with respect to the things that you feature and that you like to do. I'm sure that you'll do anything a client wants, but I'm sure you have things that you prefer and that you're known for.
Right. So my heart and soul with food is about the nutritional value. It's about the health. It's about improving ourselves. Like I mentioned before, I grew up on a farm with everything was fresh, you know, and every day I grew up, I had full of energy, you know, and so I would love to educate and, you know, show people how to work with farmers markets and local farms, and how to, you know, source their materials, and how to eat healthy, you know, and improve their lives, you know, improve their children's lives.
And I think you make a really good point in that for most of us, and I've had this thought even this summer as I've just been a little bit more active, but my diet not being great.
Right.
It's not that I'm against eating well or eating healthy or making choices, but as a single guy, I don't cook that much.
Right.
And probably the biggest part is that I haven't really educated myself.
Right. Yeah.
And when you know how to do it, when you make it as easy as possible,
Yeah.
then it's not so hard to eat healthy.
Right. Yeah, everyone can cook. Cooking's really simple. You just got to learn how to do it, you
Truly.
know? And it's about routines. You know, you get into the routine of going to the farmer's market on Sundays or Saturdays, you know, and then you find out what you like, you know, and you just build off of that, and it just grows.
So, any particular focus when you're marketing to people, saying a particular style other than
Right.
just healthy, or?
Right. No, the style that I'm really like trying to drive into is modern gastronomy. Like I've studied with Dominic Crin and Matt Leitner, both amazing 2-star Michelin chefs. And I look up to chefs like Rene Renzimpi. I worked at Forage here in Salt Lake that was open with Bowman Brown, and those are probably the most amazing times of my life.
That's really
very
cool.
inspiring, and it's just takes all the things I love about art and food and brings them into one.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
And for folks who may not be familiar with that designation, for a chef to get one Michelin star in a
Right.
career is an absolutely
Right.
career-defining moment. So to spend time with chefs who have 2 Michelin
Right.
stars, there are very few in the world
Right.
that hold that designation.
Yeah, they're Einsteins.
Yeah.
You know, they're
Sure.
pure geniuses, you know, and it's, very, very inspiring, you know.
It's cool stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what we're doing.
All right, so we did a sear lamb shoulder, and I seared it in tarragon butter with roasted garlic and rosemary. And then we got a goat cheese southern grits, which is what
Nice.
I specialize. I'm from the South, so I
Sure.
love cooking southern food. It's my staple. We have a goat cheese roasted walnut and beet salad with fennel frond. And then we have a tarragon butter with roasted corn and seared fennel for a topping.
Fennel. Fennel's one that I kind of feel like I have goals for fennel.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Again, to know how to use it.
Right.
That's
you know,
probably my
there's
biggest shortcut.
Raw or cooked, roasted or seared, you know. It's all about how you cook it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Are we plating?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the plate.
All right.
All right. So what I like to do with plating dishes is that I like to create like a base with a starch or something to kind of build off of.
And as a home chef, I will say that I completely learned to do this thing from watching cooking shows.
Right, yeah.
And when you cook for a lady and you put the stuff on the plate like this, it helps.
Oh,
It's a good
presentation.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's how it looks, you know, you want bright colors, you know, it just makes the dish so much better when you taste it, even though the food's delicious, but when you see that presentation, it's
Right,
incredible.
as they say, we eat with our eyes.
Yeah. So I don't like to, you know, just kind of build it up.
A little bit of flair there.
Yeah. Don't be afraid of a little flair.
That's right, and you're working the cast iron. Here's a question regarding cast iron. I've had a cast iron skillet. There are things that I use it for that it's fantastic.
Right.
Do you have rules as far as like what you use cast iron for, as
Right.
opposed to some sort of a standard pan, more like a saucepan kind of thing?
Right. So when you're cooking, you want to use oils. It's a fat content. That's what causes the caramelization in the meats. That's so things don't stick. So cast irons, the whole point is to get them really hot. You know, you want them smoking. You want them to sear. So you want to make sure you're using oils that have a high cooking temp. You know, so butter's great. It's classic French. You know, but you got to be very careful. You
Yeah.
know, it's about timing. Everything cooking is about
Yeah, if
timing.
it starts smoking.
Right. So I'll use saucepans for, you know, oils that have lower cooking temps. But I love cast iron. There's flavor. You build off of it. You get the caramelization within the meats. You know, what you're naturally doing is you're decreasing the water moisture and you're searing the sugar content. And that's where you get the browning. And, you know, you're unlocking flavors that weren't naturally there.
And I always love the idea that over time, as you season your pan and don't scrub the crap out of it with
yeah.
steel wool,
Right.
that it actually becomes
Yeah.
even more of what you want out of the
Yeah.
cast iron.
It's a living creature, you know.
A living creature, I like that. So what do you got coming up? I know that you've got an event coming up in September.
Right. So I'm doing my first pop-up at the Tracy Avery, and we're doing a Game of Thrones inspired pop-up kitchen, and it's going to be presented as a giant feast. So it's going to be featuring all local farms and all the harvesting coming into it. And the whole point, it's migration. So it's people changing. I've moved here.
Right.
You know, we're all growing as people. And that the proceeds are going right back to the Tracy Avery and the amazing work they do there.
Very cool. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And where should folks go to find out more information and to get in touch with you?
Well, I have a website called oacatering.com.
oacatering.com.
OA Catering. We do have a seasonal fixed menu up, but if you have any questions or anything, you can just email us or call us, and we can build a custom menu. Or, you know, we also do cooking classes too. So I'll come to your home and I'll teach your family how to, you know, prepare food.
That's a great service, and I bet you'll do really well with that.
I appreciate it.
Is that something that you've seen other catering companies do? I mean, I'm sure it's out there. It's not something I'm familiar with in the catering context, but I like the idea of you coming to my house rather than having to go to a commercial kitchen. That's great, that's set up for a dozen people to cook along with you. But then I got to go back home to my own kitchen, which
and what
probably
you
isn't quite as appointed.
Right. You want to be comfortable, you know, and that's why I love to come into your home. And Thomas Keller, who's obviously a huge chef and very inspiring, one of the things he talked about is how chefs are nurturers, you know. So I'm just taking that aspect. And like I said, I care about the community. You know what I mean? This is a passion. You know, I don't do this for the money. I do this for my heart, you know.
When you name your business Obsessed Artist, it's right there in the branding, which is awesome. And as we discussed, I think you'll do great with that, because I think that there's especially people who are now coming to town, our cosmopolitan, our New York people or West Coast people, and something that's a little bit different. I mean, a lot of folks eat great food all the time, but to have something, and especially to share with your guests, that's a little bit different and maybe has a little bit of edge, a little bit of juice to it, is very cool.
It's transparent. It's me.
Exactly. Exactly. I think we forgot implements. I want to take a little taste of this stuff before we go. Do you by any chance have a knife and fork in your... I'll tell you what, let's do this. You guys, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to taste this delicious food, and then we're going to have some more music from Lovely Knots, because I love you. Oh, hi. Welcome back. I'm just running around the television studio because we're live. But most importantly, we're going to talk with my pal Matthew from Obsessed Artist Catering. One more time, a little bit about this dish that he has lovingly prepared for us this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Now this is a seared lamb shoulder with southern grits with goat cheese, a goat cheese beet salad with roasted walnuts and fennel fronds, and with a base, with a topping of roasted corn, tarragon butter, and seared fennel.
And the seared fennel.
Yeah, really rich.
Yes, fantastic ingredients. May I?
Yeah, please.
Let's get after this lamb a little bit, you guys. I'm a fan.
I love lamb, grass-fed lamb. Classic French basing with butter, you know, it's rich, it's delicious. Perfect for the winter, perfect for the summer.
Root vegetables?
Yep.
Excuse me. We cook this here.
Yeah. Yeah, right here on the stovetop in a cast iron.
Yeah. Interesting, and that's an interesting point about it's a pretty thick chop.
Right.
Better part of an inch thick.
Right.
And you cooked it on basically a stage prop.
Right.
But the cast iron got her done.
Yeah.
Cooked all the way through, as we like.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
And I like to say a great chef can cook by candlelight, you know?
Nice, I like that.
You know, it's part of the industry.
Well, I have a very strong feeling that you're going to find your people in this market, and of course, it's not just Park City. There's a big market in Salt Lake as well, and it really feels to me like where you're coming at this from is something that the marketplace really needs. And yeah, we wish you all the best, man.
Thank you
thanks
so
for
much.
coming in.
Appreciate it.
And yeah, thanks for spending some time with us. Best wishes for great success. And let's do something before the holidays. I'm sure you'll be busy, but love to make some time and chat about wintertime foods.
That sounds great. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Matthew Greyard, he is Obsessed Artist Catering. And right now, we're going to keep things moving because music. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the lovely Knots.